Good evening. This is the video newsletter for buysellshort.com for Tuesday, September 23rd. We had fantastic momentum coming into the market on Monday, but as I mentioned in the Sunday video, if the Democrats did any kind of posturing, we were screwed. And lo and behold, what a surprise. The Democrats came out and did their posturing, wanting to add this and that to the bill, executive compensation and all sorts of other garbage that won't get added in the final bill. The final bill will get passed, but they're doing their posturing so they can go back to their constituents and say, hey, look, I actually did something, when in fact they did squat. So we lost our momentum on the rally, gave up everything on Friday over the last couple of days, down sharply in the last 20 minutes of the market today. I mean, it looked really, really good going into the close, and then boom, we dropped 180 points. Dow 15-minute chart. As you can see, we're in this bullish, tight, bullish falling wedge. We've just been easing our way back over the last few hours. We're looking at resistance now at 11,100 and support around 10,700. But in all likelihood, given that the Democrats with their BS have torpedoed our current rally, a test of the lows of last Wednesday is pretty likely, unless we see a dramatic reversal early tomorrow. Not uncommon if we look at the last couple of tanks on the Dow back in January. We had a retest, then in March we had a rally, then a retest. So not uncommon for us to see this happen, but we really had some great momentum going into Monday that just got torpedoed by a bunch of morons. Anyway, resistance now on the Dow 11,600, support the 10,400s. SMH, big disappointment over the last couple of days. Actually, this probably should have told us that something was up on the rally. Was unable to break out over the 20-day. Just been extremely weak over the last couple of days. Granted, most of the selling has come within a small time frame. So, we've got all our indicators pretty oversold. One small positive, the analysts are coming out and downgrading semiconductor stocks left and right. The last time they did that was back in March at the lows. So we are, in my opinion, putting in a bottoming action on the SMH. The clowns are throwing in the towel right now, which is what they always do at the bottom. They never downgrade up here. This is where they upgrade. This is where they downgrade. So they wait till something drops, 20, 30%, downgrade it, then it runs back up. Just unbelievable. As a side note, actually, let's just go look at the dollar. Did our retrace that we were calling for a couple of weeks ago. Perfect 50% Fibonacci retracement. The way that works, you take the low, the high, and then 50% of that move is 75.81, which we got to 75.89 yesterday, which was also the 50-day moving average. You saw the BS in oil prices yesterday. They ran oil $25 a barrel yesterday. In one day, it went from 102 to 130. Unbelievable. Pretty much a short squeeze. The oil futures contract was expiring. There were no shorts. And a couple of longs just squeezed the crap out of people. Opened up at $106 today. So, just more of the same manipulation. They just, they can't naked short the financials, so they're going to go manipulate something else to make their money. But anyway, RSI's oversold and bounced. Stochastics now in oversold territory. We held the 50-day. We did a 50% Fibonacci retracement. We should see the dollar bounce back. One other note on this. Yesterday we had a huge sell-off in the dollar, and an analyst came out and said, these are the same clowns that are saying buy oil, that the strong dollar caused them to downgrade shares of companies like Amazon and Apple because the strong dollar will eat away at their earnings or overseas earnings. Just the timing for these guys is unbelievable. Laughable, likely moronic, but sometimes it's so moronic that it appears to be corrupt. But let's leave it at that. Stock plays, AUTH, great action yesterday. Got smacked down, was pretty strong all day today. Chart is still in play. RSI still deeply oversold. We should get a positive MACD crossover in the next day or so. Stochastics oversold. Unbalanced volume looks to have put in a bottom, so this one's looking really, really good. Any dips under 220 would be looking to add to the scalp position, and target, as I mentioned, is a move to 275 to $3 here. BKHM been pretty volatile, very high volume over the last couple of days, bouncing around. Target still remains a move to 130 to 140 on this one. RSI under 30 oversold. Stochastics getting ready to break up through 20. This one should break out in the next couple of days, market willing. Stops $1.05. OPWV actually looked fantastic for most of the session, and then in that crappy market close, got pushed down here at the close to a red close. Did hold its bottom. Stops $1.10. What more can you say? It's in a pretty good trading range now from $1.10 to $1.30. So time for this one to make its bounce back to the $1.30 area. That's really it for new plays. Just very tough environment right now to be calling plays. Let's see if we get our double bottom, and there'll be plenty of opportunity for new scalp plays. Keep our powder dry. One thing I will mention, these moron lawmakers and the business media just saying, oh my God, the U.S. government's taking on $700 billion in debt. Absolute hogwash. If that's the case, it's not like the Treasury is buying this stuff to sell it in an orderly manner. If they don't do it, life as we know it will cease to exist. We'll have companies going belly up. There's going to be no credit. Things will be really, really bad. Unemployment will go through the roof. So these morons saying that, we're getting, the taxpayers getting nothing for this. We're getting a whole lot. Our financial system's not going to crash, and we're not going to lose everything. The clowns that get public airway time is just amazing. The way they're talking about this bailout, that it's $700 billion is what it's going to cost the government. No, it's not going to cost $700 billion. That's our exposure right now if we buy it all and we don't sell any of it. This stuff is worth money. There are private funds out there buying this stuff for pennies on the dollar because regular banks are required to market, and as such, the value keeps going down and down. It's like speculators coming in and buying these foreclosed properties that are just being sold for pennies on the dollar. Government is going to make a market in these securities that banks are unable to sell right now because of the panic. Such a big buyer coming in is going to stabilize the market, and the stuff that the Treasury buys, they're going to sell eventually. So, this worst case scenario, or the talk that we're going to lose $700 billion, is stupidity. Pretty much what you would expect from lawmakers trying to jockey for headlines. But common sense, people. Don't let these morons in the media on TV. This is a very good idea. There could be better ideas, but this is the best thing we have right now to stabilize things. This package is going to pass. These morons, Democrats in Congress, are going to approve this. There might be a couple of few changes on it, but they can't appear to their constituents to be rolling over to Wall Street. Wall Street's been decimated. We can't exist without Wall Street, even though you hear me talk about the crooks all the time. There's crooks everywhere. We need this to work, or else, we need to find something else to do. We're going to be, there's going to be no stocks to trade. It's going to be bad, to put a pessimistic spin on it. But anyway, this thing needs to pass. It didn't pass yesterday. It's the reason the market is going to do a retest of the lows. What's probably going to happen is, there's going to be some more posturing and BS over the next couple of days as the market slowly works its way lower. Then the bill will be passed, everyone will be happy, and up we'll shoot. So for now, hand sit. We're going to play a few plays, and that's it. See you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.